Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So ever since Benjamin Netanyahu was sending delegations to continue the negotiations for a potential ceasefire with them and the Palestinian resistance, primarily Hamas, he put more and more conditions on this delegation. We had reports previously that he ordered them not to sign a deal. He banned the head of the Mossad previously from going to Qatar. He banned him from speaking with Yoav Gallant, and he's obviously the head of this delegation. He sent some of his office advisors and assistants to the delegation with them to Qatar and Egypt to ensure that the head of the Mossad and this delegation, they don't go beyond what Benjamin Netanyahu authorized them. And we're having more and more leaks now to reveal what's actually happening with regards to the negotiations now, despite the fact that there were reports just over 5 days ago that Netanyahu is handing more powers to the delegation to reach an agreement. So Channel 12, the Israeli Channel 12, they published a leak from the Israeli negotiating delegation. In this leak, they said, members of this delegation, we could have reached a deal 2 months ago, and the negotiation in its current form could take up to a year. Netanyahu does not listen, and we lost more Israelis, kidnapped Israelis in Gaza, they're referring to, during this period. We would receive calls in the morning to negotiate, and then when it comes to the evening, we will have calls from Netanyahu to hinder the process. This is another very dangerous leak against Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, Israelis were protesting in their thousands over 2 weeks ago when there was another leak that the delegation already agreed on a deal and he refused it. By having these leaks, they're trying to put more pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu, that he is the obstacle to reaching a deal and that he's only sending them as a front end to show people that we're negotiating, when really and truly he doesn't want to negotiate. He doesn't want to reach a deal. He wants to continue the war because he needs to keep himself in that position, because he knows when the war ends, Benjamin Netanyahu ends his political career, definitely ends. It's evident in the polls. It's evident from the level of criticism he gets from the war cabinet, from the Israeli politicians, Israeli military leadership, the chief of the military, and from the Israeli society. Netanyahu's office, they heard the report, and they weren't happy with the leak. However, they responded to the report, in which they said Netanyahu works around the clock to get the kidnapped Israelis back and refuses an agreement of submission. The same rhetoric that Netanyahu has been pushing, really, all along, that we won't submit to the Hamas, their requests are unreasonable, and we're working around the clock to get the Israelis. But you're working around the clock to kill the Israelis. That's what you're working on. You killed 50 Israelis in the first month of this genocide, indiscriminate bombings, confirmed by some of the Israeli prisoners who were released, and some who were in Israel when the 7th of October took place, that we constantly speak about. Secondly, you had targeted assassinations that were revealed by Israelis and families and parents of people who were assassinated by the Israeli army to get to potential Hamas leaders. You bombed them, you killed them deliberately. That's well known. Yet he's still talking about the fact that he is working on, if you're worried about the Israeli people, you can't go in and indiscriminately bomb, flatten a whole city that they're in. If you were worried about the Israeli people, from day one, you would tell Hamas, let's reach a deal, get your people back. That's if you're worried about them and consider the Palestinians to be subhuman, right? And then go on this. But he didn't do that, because they immediately acted out of vengeance, out of hate, and took the plan out that they had for a very long time for the genocide in Gaza. There was a plan in place. And this was the main thing that I wanted to talk to you about in this video, and I will see you soon in the next video. Take care.